Namaste, hello. My name is Ashish Kothari, and I have the honor of presenting the resolutions from the environment session of the Janata Parliament, in which more than 25 people from different parts of the country, representing local communities, civil society organizations, researchers, lawyers, and so on, spoke. The House noted that over the last few decades, India's environment has been rapidly deteriorating. We are facing huge amounts of destruction of natural ecosystems, including forests, lakes, rivers, and so on. Very amongst the world's highest levels of air and water pollution, toxics in our bodies, and so on. And of course, along with that, the threat to thousands of species of wildlife and to the livelihoods and the survival of hundreds of millions of people. The House also noted that despite all of this, and despite the fact that COVID has made us realize the close links between ecological destruction and pandemics like COVID, the government during the COVID period went ahead with even more regressive actions, including the auctioning of coal blocks in some of the most biologically diverse forests of the country, the draft environmental impact assessment notification, which became very infamous for even further weakening India's regulatory regime, and clearing all kinds of destructive projects in various kinds of ecologically sensitive and culturally sensitive ecosystems. Noting these serious concerns, the House passed 8 resolutions. First, that we need a significant strengthening of the environmental regulatory regime, withdraw all the regressive actions that have been taken in the last 5 months, issue a moratorium on the further clearance and diversion of natural ecosystems for so called development projects, and create an independent process, a widespread process of consultation for creating a comprehensive environmental regulatory regime that puts the environment and people at the center. This would also enable us to meet our international commitments under environmental regimes and treaties. Second, steps to eliminate pollution, to bring levels to down to levels of air and water and soil and so on that are safe for human and animal consumption, which means revisions in the Air and Water Acts and the setting up of independent pollution control and monitoring agencies. Third, to deal with the climate crisis, significant revision in the National Climate Action Plan to up the kind of targets that we have, and to enable a much greater cooperation and dialogue in the entire South Asian region, because the region as a whole is going to sink with the climate crisis or float and survive. And also shifting away from fossil fuels, nuclear, and large hydro towards much cleaner, decentralized renewable energy sources. Fourth, to safeguard India's natural ecosystems across the whole country by stopping or safeguarding them from destructive development projects, but also by enabling the governance of these natural ecosystems by local communities for all ecosystems, similar to the Forest Rights Act. Fifth, to enable the further empowerment of bodies of self governance to be able to manage nature and natural resources, which includes their central participation in all decisions, including legal and financial, and also includes a comprehensive new legislation on strengthening urban local self governance bodies and prior informed consent from all communities for any kind of use of their nature, natural resources, land, and so on. Sixth, a radical reorientation of the Atmanirbharta or the self reliance package in order to generate hundreds of millions of dignified, sustainable livelihoods based on the regeneration and the sustainable use of nature and natural resources, which would include packages for small farmers, pastoralists, fishers, craftspersons, and also for small manufacturing, medium scale manufacturing, and services, in such a way that villages are revitalized so much that people do not have to migrate out in distress, and that in fact the tens of millions that have gone back to villages could find dignified livelihoods wherever they are. Seventh, we need independent agencies to monitor and control and be able to assess the flood risks that we have and the management of flood, especially through our reservoirs. We are currently facing enormous flood issues right now, as you all know. Eighth and last, we need to figure out how cities can be made much more self-reliant for water, because right now they are over exploiting the rural areas, which means a maximum amount of local water harvesting, management, demand control, and of course equitable distribution of that water. Putting all these resolutions together, the House concluded that we need a much greater central participation of the most marginalized sections of Indian population, women and children, Adivasis, Dalits, the so-called disabled, and so on, and in particular to bring to center stage the perspectives and the participation of youth across India. Thank you for your attention. We urge you to take these issues to the Parliament and to all other relevant forums, including your own constituencies and states. Thank you.